SNSD Seohyun. Despite debuting in the national girl group, and that she could have done literally everything with the amount of money and power in her hands, Seohyun somehow has never gotten herself caught up in any scandals throughout 14 years active. As we all know, the entertainment industry has always been notorious for the ability to turn even the purest souls into some devils, with all sorts of temptations. But when it comes to Seohyun, none of them could stain her dignity. In fact, her profile was so spotless that even when Dispatch multiple times set the determination to expose Seohyun by following her around, all they got was seeing her either hanging out at the bookstore alone or seeing friends at some random coffee shops. Despite being the youngest member of SNSD, Seohyun's personality is so mature that in 2011, when she appeared on Big Brothers, along with several members of the group, the hosts there were all taken aback by her thoughtful and profound words. After asking her the last question about which advice she would give to young people, one of them even got to utter as to how Seohyun really saw things from the perspective of the oldest uni in SNSD, rather than a playful magnate.
일단 젊은 친구들이 성공을 되게 꿈꾸잖아요. 그래서 성공과 실패에 되게 얽매이는 것 같아요. 그래서 성공과 실패라는 그런 말에 얽매이지 말고 그냥 본인이 살아가는 이유, 가치관을 좀 확립하는 게 가장 중요하지 않나 생각합니다.
Seohyun's serious and virtuous persona is in fact not only shown through the way she acts in public, but also in how she leads her life in SNSD. As revealed by Taeyeon and Tiffany, when Tae-Tiso went on old school radio for their promotion, Seohyun has always been an independent girl that never leans on older members for their help, a potential leader that can steer others in the right way, and also a clever perfectionist that always has her eyes set on the goals, until everything is accomplished. At this point, I think it's not much of a big surprise when seeing her graduating from the top university in South Korea, Dongguk University, and that she was even chosen to be the honorary ambassador of the Blue House. Obviously, there are good reasons for why she's called the pride of SNSD by all the members, right? Number 2. Blackpink's Jisoo. While Jisoo first drew lots of attention for the perfect visual, she later also proved that there's way more to her than just a good face checking all the Korean beauty standards. Of all the good things that can be talked about Jisoo, fans have also been proud of how she's never gotten caught up in any scandals. Despite having been active for 5 years, and even holding tons of power as the member of the top internationally famous girl group. Besides being active on social media to share about her hobbies and little happy moments in life, literally all other aspects of her life are kept private. The interesting thing about Jisoo's personality is that while she may come across as an easygoing member with an innocent attitude towards life, she's in fact way more thoughtful and meditative than most people think. You see how Jisoo always manages to hold her tears back and try to lift up the mood of all members when they are tearful? There were multiple times like that. But some I can think of for now are when Lisa's mom paid her a surprise visit in Blackpink's house, and when Blackpink spoke their minds about how blessed they are to have each other. You see how all of them were in tears, but Jisoo was still there, super calm, and even tried to be playful to help others feel better.
The stuff that's on stage, but I feel like we all go through so much else, and I think that all of you.
In fact, even if you don't follow Blackpink often enough to know about these moments, the fact that Jisoo often said many profound words, like this, is already enough to show how deep and virtuous she is. Number 3. Red Velvet Seulgi. During the 7 years of being the main dancer of Red Velvet, Seulgi has never once gotten in any scandals, even the smallest one. She's also one of some rare all-rounders that can nail all aspects when it comes to performing. From sharp dancing, powerful vocals, to the impressive stage presence that can't be mistaken with anyone. Interestingly, somewhat similar to Jisoo, while Seulgi often radiates the cheerful and happy vibe when being in front of the camera, she's actually a quite calm and collected girl behind the scenes. How can I say so? Well, Seulgi in fact once expressed how she was super thoughtful and cautious in the way she lived, in an interview with Esquire Korea, saying that even when already having a personal Instagram account, she still hesitated a lot before posting.
일상생활. 저도 제가 궁금해요. 그냥 관찰 카메라 달고 그냥 제 생활을 좀 지켜보고 싶을 정도로 저는 제가 하는 게 없다고 생각을 했는데 주변 얘기를 들어보면 이것저것 굉장히 바쁘다고 하더라고요.
Her kind personality was also shown through little things, like how she agreed to stay in the worst room in Red Velvet's dorm, which was basically a small utility room, under one little condition that the hallway will be turned into her dressing closet. Of course, there were some conditions going along the way, but her willingness to stay there already spoke a lot about her kindness. Number 4. SHINee Minho. Similar to Seohyun, despite having been in the industry for 12 years straight and having lots of money to spend on countless tempting leisure activities in the industry, Minho has never once gotten his name attached to any scandals. By the way, do you know how low-key he tried to keep his private life? He was so cautious in the ways he lives and what he shares that despite having been a famous figure for years, Minho has just opened his Instagram account in December 2020. The thing is that while keeping his life all to himself has a lot to do with how his profile was spotless, Minho is actually a kind man at heart. You know how every male idol must enlist for 1.5 years before returning to their career, right? While most idols often wait until they receive the call of duty, Minho proactively registered to serve as a Navy soldier, got awarded for his excellence in completing the training, and even gave up his last military leave to help train younger soldiers at the camp. Also, for the squeaky clean profile and the virtuous persona, Minho, along with SNSD Seohyun, was also chosen to be the honorary ambassador of UNICEF's Uni Heroes campaign in 2018. Back in 2017, he was even chosen to be the representative attending the event held by the US Embassy and Consulate in South Korea, where Melania Trump also turned up. Number 5. NCT's Jaemin. Debuting with NCT Dream in 2016 and having been in the industry for 5 years, Jaemin has always been the pride of NCTzens, when not only keeping his profile spotless, but also frequently speaking his love to everyone. Even before debut, Jaemin has always been a kind boy that often spends his time helping people in difficult situations. Obviously, no one knows exactly when he started and how often he used to do volunteering, but for sure, the amount of time he spends going out to help people was enough to coincidentally catch the attention of SM Scout, right as he was handing out posters and collecting trash with his mom at an event.
제가 그 편에 있을 때 사진에 가서 이렇게 포스터 나누고 포스터 그 버리신 거 받기도 하고 그런 봉사를 했는데 그중에서 이제 회사 관계자분한테 눈에 딱 띄어가지고 야 띄었어! 와.
His sweet and righteous persona was so famous that despite being quite a young idol that had only been in the industry for 2 years, Jaemin was already chosen by UNICEF to join the cast of stars, who would go to different countries and celebrate World Children's Day on behalf of UNICEF.
우리가 다 함께 학교 폭력을 막을 수 있습니다. 모든 사람을 존중해 주세요. 다른 친구들을 괴롭히지 마세요. 주위에 도움이 필요한 친구, 가족 곁에서 그들을 지켜주세요. 학교 폭력에 맞서 목소리를 내세요. 그것이 옳은 일입니다.
While he's still young and there remains lots of things that can't be told for the future, the fact that a big organization like UNICEF chose him over many other bright rookies in the industry did speak a lot about how Jaemin is indeed a kind boy, and will very likely keep his profile clean forever after. Number 6. GOT7's Jinyoung. Having been active for 7 years and even going through multiple roles, from idol, MC to actor, Jinyoung has never once gotten into any scandals that stained his image of the perfect gentleman. In GOT7, he's been on the quiet side of the group. Obviously not super quiet like Mark, because he still knows how to make fun of other members with his savageness, but instead of coming across as arrogant, he radiates a strong motherly vibe through little caring actions for the members. If you follow him long enough, you'll see how he's always a man with manners when interacting with female idols. Do you know the time he covered Irene from being on camera when she was trying to fix her gown? That was around the beginning of 2020, and after his thoughtful action with Irene was posted online, the video immediately went viral for not only his clever reaction, but also for how he just gently signaled for people to stop taking photos of Irene in such a private situation. Besides these idols, do you think there are more names that should be on this list? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting content. Thank you for watching.